Greetings and peace. I hope you and yours are doing well today, wherever you might be watching this from. And I hope you're all having a wonderful month of April 2023. And the title of this presentation that I would like to do is the how-to guidance for Masonic lodges who will be dealing with potential Muslim candidates or new brothers that apply or petition for their lodges. Now, the aspect of Islam, Sufism, and Freemasonry is something that I have extensively covered, which even this presentation alone cannot do that subject justice of any kind. So before watching this presentation, please go to my YouTube channel and go on the playlist section. And on the playlist, you'll see that I have done over 45 plus presentations on this very subject alone on Islam, Sufism, and Freemasonry. One of the lectures being almost 6 hours due to the vastness of this subject. So with this presentation, I'm just going to give a basic guidance to Masonic lodges when dealing with Muslim candidates, so they have a smooth transition into their Masonic journey in life. So I hope you are able to benefit from what I have to offer, and thank you for always sticking by me. Now, the volume of sacred law that comes into question to use for the potential new Muslim brother or candidate depends on the exact background of that Muslim brother. Because the Quran that we see here on the left-hand side, which is usually used by most Masonic suppliers and also by most Masonic lodges that I've seen who are dealing with this kind of situation, is from the Ahmadiyya sect. And most Muslim brothers might not agree with that sect, even though there are Ahmadiyya Masons out there, which I'm sure there are. And when dealing with the Muslim brother, you have to make sure that because of the exact sectarian difference, that they are given the right version of the Holy Quran when they are entered into the brotherhood. On the right-hand side, we have a Holy Quran from Abdullah Yusuf Ali. And this one is like a general Quran, English translation Quran with commentary also, which your average Muslim brother, someone who's like a Sunni or a Shia or a Sufi, it's easily acceptable for them. While the Quran on the left-hand side, which I see most Masonic suppliers and Masonic lodges using with Muslim brothers, is of the Ahmadiyya sect. So we have to be careful and be sensitive to that sectarian difference when dealing with potential Muslim brothers or candidates. If the brother is an Ahmadiyya Muslim or has that background, then the Quran on the left-hand version is fine for him. And anything else, one can use the version on the right-hand side. Or you can ask the brother to bring his own, basically, Quran in, where he can do his initiation and also use the same Quran after he's raised. And I think it's some jurisdictions, again, I represent myself only when I'm making my videos and statements. I think some jurisdictions allow you to bring your own volume of sacred law. But in this exact case, depending on the sectarian difference of the Muslim brother that you're dealing with, he can bring in his own version of the Quran. And I remember when this was done in a Masonic lodge, the secretary had just added an extra sheet in the beginning where he could get it signed by his fellow lodge brothers after becoming a master Mason. So I hope this answers the exact question of the volume of the sacred law. Now, moving on. Now we are dealing with the Quranic verses for each degree of craft masonry. Now, depending on what stage of his journey the brother is on, the Quran can be opened on the altar with that exact page relating to the degree that the brother is going to go through. So with the entered apprentice degree, which is chapter 2, verse 257, or Surah 2, the second Surah, verse 257, where it says, Allah is the guardian, protector of the believers. He brings them out of darkness and into the light, meaning do not fear any danger and walk your path, which relates to the first step. And then once they move on to the second step, the Quran can be opened on chapter 58, verse 11, Surah 58, verse 11. You who believe, if you are told to make room for one another in your meetings, then do so, and God will make room for you. And if you are told to rise up, do so. God will raise you up by many degrees, those of you who believe and those who have been given knowledge. He's fully aware of what you do. So now the first and second step, you have darkness to light. The second step, from knowledge of arts and sciences and becoming a lover of the arts and sciences and the liberal arts, that is guiding the brother step by step in respect to his own personal faith and journey. Now the third step, which is the Master Mason, which is chapter 21, verse 35, the Quran can be opened on, or Surah 21, verse 35. Every soul will taste death. We test you with good and evil as a trial, or good and bad as a trial. Then to us you will all be returned, which is the aspect of a memento mori, meaning that with this one human life that you've been given, you have the free will depending on which type of actions you want to take, but try to do the right thing, be a lover of knowledge, self-improvement, try to help the world, help your community, help yourself, help your family. And those are the lessons and tools you are given in your Masonic journey, which also the potential new Muslim brother or candidate can relate to on his journey as well within his own faith. Now we have the aspect of Iman, Islam, and Ihsan, the brother who goes through the 3 stages of realization. His first stage in respect to his faith will be Iman, which is belief, faith, secrecy, and full trust in the grand architect of the universe, which is his inner apprentice level. His second is Islam, which is submission to the will of God, obedience, knowledge, and practice. The first and second steps leading to secrecy and obedience, to reflect on your growth and continue the pursuit of knowledge, and to trust God and walk your path without any fear. That's entered apprentice and fellowcraft. And Ihsan, the last step, a righteous, upright character and living a good life with the time you have been granted. The Master Mason, the aspect of you have to die before you die. And this is the exact path that not only the parallel reality that the Muslim brother will find in his own faith, but also on the Masonic path as well. And all 3 stages must be honored fully, or you are just following mere rituals without any meaning, and inevitably leading to hypocrisy. You must practice what you preach, otherwise it's all meaningless and wasted effort. There is a difference between a learning phase and an application phase of knowledge. Also, you need a guide and a mentor, no egoism or individualism. And that's the aspect of what the Masonic Brotherhood teaches us. We're all walking each other home. We need our brothers, we need our guides, our mentors. Same thing the Muslim brother will find with not only in the Masonic path, but within his own path as well, that we need each other. There's no destination that we can get to by ourselves. It's always one place or another, one thing or another, or one venue or situation or another. And we must fully take in both the good and the bad that comes along with the journey and apply those teachings to your life to help you become a more upright character when dealing with self, each other, in your personal development and journey. Now we have the beautiful aspect of the cable tow, which the Muslim brother or candidate can also relate to within his own faith as well. And it's basically about helping each other if it's within your capability to do so. And this goes to Surah 3, verse 103, or chapter 3, verse 103. Hold fast together to the cable of Allah, God, and be not divided. Remember the blessing that Allah bestowed upon you. You were once enemies, then He brought your hearts together, so that through His blessing you became brothers. And this is the beauty of the Masonic Brotherhood, that Masonry unites men of every country and of every religion, and conciliates true friendship among them and among those who might otherwise have remained at a perpetual distance. And this is the beauty, what the Muslim believes in, the being basically a part of the Ummati Muhammad, or part of the community of Muhammad. And that means that includes all races and religions on the level where you treat everybody as your brothers and be on the level with them and respect them, whether it's a Jew, Christian, whoever. And that's something that one can find a parallel comparison within the Masonic path and within the personal brother's path as well of his faith. Now we have the aspect of being on the level. Now this is not to promote any specific faith, but to just show and guide Masonic lodges and mentors and guides of how they can draw these parallel comparison when dealing with potential new Muslim brothers and candidates in their lodges, to make them feel welcome and inclusive and know that you understand them and they'll be able to understand you on this journey. So please keep in mind as you're watching this presentation. Now, the aspect of being on the level, when you go to many Masonic lodges, including the House of the Temple in D.C., you'll see on the altar they'll have multiple books open at the same time, right? To promote brotherhood, oneness, faith, charity. And the Muslim brother can relate that to his own personal journey in his own volume of sacred law, which I remember a Jewish past master who was my mentor. He had told me as a Muslim brother that find something within your own volume of sacred law that holds meaning to you. And this is what I'm sharing with you, and I hope you all benefit from it as well. Now we have the Holy Quran, Surah 2, verse 62, chapter 2, verse 62. Those who believe in the Quran and those who follow the Jewish scriptures and the Christians and the Sabians, any who believe in God and the last day and work righteousness, shall have their reward with their Lord. On them shall be no fear, nor shall they grieve. So it's basically telling you, the Masonic path, that those that trust God do not need to fear anything. They need to continue walking their path, whether they're Christians, Jews, Muslims, it doesn't matter. Every brother has their own respective path. It's not about pushing your faith on somebody else or they pushing that on you. That's the beauty of the Masonic Brotherhood, where we all come together as brothers on the level and help each other and uplift each other and know that we're all following our own individual path, and when the time comes, we shall have our own individual reward on our individual and collective journeys. Same thing in the Holy Quran, Surah 49, verse 10, or chapter 49, verse 10, that the believers are but one brotherhood. So make peace between your two brothers and be mindful of God so that you may be given mercy. And this is equivalent of Psalms 133, which many Masons like to refer to, that behold, how good it is for brethren to dwell in unity. And that's what all of this is about. And same thing, what the Quran is saying at the end of Surah 2, or at the last verses of chapter 2, 285, that God makes no distinction between any of the messengers or prophets that came. Every nation, every tribe came with the truth. That's the beauty of our Masonic Brotherhood, and that's the beauty that the Muslim brother can find a parallel reality within his own faith as well. Now we see the aspect of the Kaaba in the holy city of Mecca in the east. If you look at the Kaaba, it is the perfect ashlar stone built by Abraham, who is the father of all three faiths. And we see it was built by Abraham and his son Ishmael. And you see the perfect brick stones, the perfect ashlar stone that one is supposed to represent himself as the temple. And you also have the three pillars inside and the altar. Same thing on the Masonic point of view, where you have on the right-hand side, you have the tracing board of strength, beauty, wisdom, the moon and the star, and the watchful eye of the grand architect of the universe. And we're dealing with the same aspect, where on the Kaaba you also have the black and white, the duality of nature and God. Same thing on the Masonic tracing board, the pillars and the altar. And the rite of circumambulation that everyone here goes through, whether it's on the Masonic aspect or the Islamic aspect, where even in Mecca, you have everyone that wears the white cloth of innocence, equivalent to the lambskin of a master mason and its innocence. And regardless of the race or the background of the brother, you all go through that rite symbolically on the level, without any or without looking down on anybody, whether the person is a CEO or a janitor. You're all on this journey together. And that's another parallel comparison that the brother can draw, or the candidate can draw, within his parallel reality and journey. And also the aspect of the house not made with hands as the cornerstone of the Kaaba. It talks about a meteorite that fell from heaven. So you have that comparison as well that the Muslim brother or candidate can relate to. Now we have the aspect of the pillars. Just like how we have strength, beauty, and wisdom, the brother can relate to his own personal journey of the pillars of his own faith, where you have Tuscan, Doric, Ionic, Corinthian, Composite, while you have the aspect of his own Islamic faith, which is telling him to have Shahada, the creed, basically to believe in a supreme being, the aspect of prayer, Salat, to be in a state of prayer. One who's known as a worshipful brother in Masonry is one who's full of worship, and one who has basically labored his way from the west to the east, and one who's close to the divine. And that's basically it on the Islamic comparison as well. Then you have Psalm, which is fasting, to circumscribe your desires and live your life within due bounds, and to subdue your passions on the Masonic terms. Then you have the Hajj, the pilgrimage, to always be a traveling man to the east. As the Muslim has to go to Mecca to the east, the Mason is always traveling to the east as well in search of light and knowledge. Then you have the Zakat, almsgiving. And any Masonic lodge you go to, even depending on the jurisdiction, there's always almsgiving, whether in the beginning or in the end. So there are also these parallel realities that the Muslim candidate or brother can draw in his journey to know that his faith and his path is also compatible with the Masonic path. And we have the aspect of jihad. Now, the word jihad is that basically you're struggling against your own self. As the Mason is chipping away at his imperfections and improving himself in his thinking, knowing, and doing on a daily basis, so too does the Muslim brother or candidate by declaring jihad on himself, by chipping away at his rough ashlar until it becomes a smooth ashlar, and perfecting his character and his morality and his ethical behavior day by day. So there is that parallel reality that one can draw as well. Now we have the aspect of the square and compasses. So Freemasonry is open to those who believe in a supreme being, equivalent to the Holy Quran, chapter 2, verse 256, or Surah 2, verse 256. There is no compulsion in religion. You have your free will to walk your path how you please, depending on your journey. That's equivalent to the Quran, Surah 2, verse 257, chapter 2, verse 257. And you have the aspect of darkness toward light. In Arabic, min az-zulumati ilay an-nuri. So you have this aspect of these parallel realities and comparisons that are there that can aid one in his journey. Thank you so much for watching this presentation, this short and to the point presentation, and I hope you were able to benefit from it and what I had to offer. Again, this is not to promote an agenda or a certain faith or saying that Masonry comes from Islam. The beauty of Masonry is that you can find parallel comparisons to all of the faiths, as those that have followed my work from the beginning know that I have given credit to every faith and philosophy and walk of life out there, knowing that everyone is teaching the truth. We're all walking each other home as brothers on the level, and we should all love and respect each other. And, as it showed you, not only in the Masonic path, but also in the Quran, find a path that works for you. And you're not going to be damned to eternal damnation or any of that stuff, which divides men rather than unite them. And we must focus on uniting men in these times of chaos. And again, I hope this has served as a guide for Masonic lodges and mentors and guides who are dealing with potential new Muslim brothers and candidates, to how to make them feel welcome, to make them feel inclusive, to let them know that their path and their journey of being a Muslim Mason is compatible with their faith and compatible with the Masonic life as well. So there is the aspect of being comfortable, right? So I hope you were able to benefit from this in some way. And again, this video alone does not do this topic justice. Go on my YouTube, if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, obviously, and go on playlist and click on Islam, Sufism, and Freemasonry, and you'll see I have done over 45 presentations on this subject alone, one of the lectures being almost 6 hours, which was done on 2 separate dates. So please benefit from it, apply the teachings to yourself and teach it to others, and I hope I've been able to benefit you on your Masonic path or journey in some way in your understanding and knowing. And again, I cannot stress this enough. I represent myself only. I do not represent any Grand Lodge statements or opinions. My channel and my presentations are my own. And if any questions or comments, please email me at salmansheikh911@gmail.com. All images used were retrieved from public domain searches and are the rightful property of their respective owners. The images used in this video are for the purpose of non-profit awareness and education, which is protected by the copyright laws of fair use education purpose. All my videos are for non-profit and education purposes. Thank you, my friends and brothers. All rights reserved.